Right, so we're going to look at multiplying and dividing radicals. So here we've got the square root of 5 times the square root of 35. You could multiply those two numbers together within the radical, but to avoid doing such high calculations, you could also just break 35 into its factors. So that's 7 times 5. So underneath both radicands, you have 5 times 7 times 5. We can put it all under one radical. And notice we have a pair of 5s here. So those 5s can move outside the radical. And that becomes 5 square roots of 7. Okay. Anything that's already outside the radical, we just simply multiply together outside of the radical. So 2 times 3 is 6. And then within the radical, we've got 8 times 7. The 8 we can simplify to 2 times 2 times 2. So we have a pair of 2's which we can then move outside the radical. Anytime you're working with radicals, you should leave your answer as simplified as you possibly can. So that pair of 2's goes out as 1, 2, and we get 6 times 2. And then we've still got this 2 and the 7 underneath the radical. And we simplify that to 12 square roots of 14. Okay, and then again, we've got 4 times 2 outside, so that's 8 outside. We have 5 times 20. 20 is 5 times the perfect square 4. So here we've got a pair of 5's which we can move outside. So we've got 8 times 5 outside. And then this perfect square of 4, well, we know the square root of 4 is 2. So now we've actually got nothing left under the radical, so we don't even have to write it. So we've got 40 times 2 is 80. Okay, and then again, there's nothing under the radical, so we don't even need to write it. Okay, dividing radicals. So to divide radicals, similar to multiplication, we're first going to divide the coefficients. So that's any number in front of your radical. Divide those first, so leave them outside the radical. And then you're going to divide what's within the radical, so what's under the radicands. Okay, so in this example, our coefficients in front of the radicals are 12 and 4. So we'll just divide those first. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. And then we've got the square root of 56 in the radical, and we've got the square root of 7 in the other radical. So we can just divide those, but we have to keep our answer within the radical. So 56 divided by 7, that gives us 8. So we have a square root of 8. And then we can simplify that. We know that's the perfect square 4 times 2. And we know the perfect square, we know the square root of 2, we know the square root of 4 is 2. So we'll move this outside the radical as 2. So that becomes 3 times 2, and then this 2 stays within the radical. So we've got 6 square roots of 2. So the division part really is done with here, and then you're just simplifying it. Okay, and that's it.